What is the cost of living in Palm Springs, California in 2022? As you probably already know, the price of housing has gone up exponentially all across the US, and Palm Springs is really no exception to that. Today we're going to look at primarily the housing cost and what's it look like to buy a single family detached home or a condo slash townhome in Palm Springs. My name's Tommy Jordan. I'm your Palm Springs area real estate agent. Let's do this. All right, let's take a look at this cost of living page. You see a cost of living index above 100 means Palm Springs, California is more expensive. And we already knew that. It's California after all. So Palm Springs cost of living is 131, and I would say this is going to be even higher. But you see, let's just look at some of the main things. Groceries, right? Looks like groceries, Palm Springs is a little cheaper than California's average, but on par with the USA. Healthcare actually surprisingly is cheaper than the rest of the United States. Housing, it's actually probably going to be even more than this number. It says 179. It shows the USA being 100, so it's probably going to be more than, I would say more than double the US average. California, yes, Palm Springs is still a lot cheaper than coastal cities like Los Angeles, San Diego, or going up north, San Francisco, areas like that. It is still a lot more affordable for California. We're not going to look at this medium home cost because this is wrong right here. Utilities, 113. It is a little higher than the California average. I would say probably is the electricity. In the summers, it gets pretty toasty 3-4 months out of the year. The average temperature is 105 degrees, so you're going to be cranking that AC. But overall, it's not too much more than the US average. When it comes to transportation, it's 130 where the USA is 100. So if you're living in Palm Springs, unless you're close to downtown, you're probably going to want a car. We have a bus system that goes around the Palm Springs area. So that is available to you, but it's not the most walkable place. If you're in Palm Springs, it's walkable if you're right, close to the city, near Palm Canyon Drive. But, the Palm Springs area, you have La Quinta, Rancho Mirage. There's going to be a lot of other fun places you'll probably want to visit. So that's an overall view of cost of living. But the biggest factor that separates Palm Springs, California, compared to the rest of the U.S. is going to be the cost of living for housing. The price of housing is really what makes living in California so expensive. Let's take a look at the Desert Housing Report. So you see this is in December, but it comes out every few months. So this is actually, this information comes from the Desert Housing Association of Realtors. So it's legit, it's accurate, and it's hyper local. So this will be more accurate than anything Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, Trulia has. Let's look at first the average size of a detached home. So we're going to start with a detached home, and then we're going to look at condo and townhomes. So this shows the entire Palm Springs area, but for this video, we're looking at Palm Springs. So you see right here, the average size home in Palm Springs is 2,100 square feet. I mean, that really makes sense because a lot of the mid-century homes are going to be a little smaller than the new construction homes nowadays that are like 3,000-4,000 square feet. The price per square foot is $544, so this is the average. And the average home is $1.1 million, almost $1.2 million in Palm Springs. It's not cheap. That's the average home in Palm Springs for a detached home. $1.2 million. It's crazy. And it gets even crazier. If we look at these prices from last year you could buy a home in Palm Springs, I can't even say it. It's like a tongue twister if you say it fast enough, for $871,000. That is a 36% change in a year. In 12 months, 36% it costs more now to buy a home. And it's crazy because these prices are actually even, the fluctuation is more than I'm even seeing in coastal areas like Orange County, which is very pricey. Some areas obviously are going to be a little more fluctuating in Orange County, like right by the beach, but the prices here are no joke. In the 2011-2012 low was $323,000. Can you imagine if you would have bought a home here in 2011, it was 300,000, but you know what? You can't time the market. No one can. And that's what people ask me, what's going to happen with housing? And really, a lot of it has to do with the Federal Reserve and interest rates and supply and demand and the markets and the economy. And, a lot of it is out of our hands and control. But I'll tell you what, I had people, 2 years ago saying, hey, I think we're at the top of the market. And if they would have bought, they could have been in a home for 700,000. That's now worth 1.2 million. But you know what? Hindsight's 2020. We're gonna go over now to my website, palmspringshousing.com. You see right here, it's a great site. I guess I'm plugging my own website, but it's my YouTube channel. We're talking about the average home in Palm Springs being 1.2 million. So I want to show you, like, if you were coming to the area and I was showing you an average home, what it looks like now. Because it's one thing hearing that number, but what does that number actually get you? So here we go. We have this home on Verona Road, Palm Springs. So this home is in northern Palm Springs. But let's check it out, right? It's built in 1988. Four bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2,600 square feet, so a little bigger than the average home, because I think the average was 2,100 square feet in Palm Springs. Lot size 13,000, which that's pretty nice. In the price, 1,150,000. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is where it is on the map. Here we are. So downtown Palm Springs is right over here. Okay, this is where all the shopping, dining, restaurants are, and Old Las Palmas, Baristo, Tennis Club, Tahiques River Estates. It starts getting really pricey due to the proximity of all the action. Now, over here in North Palm Springs, I made videos on this before. People don't like it, but it's true. In Northern Palm Springs, it tends to get a little seedier in parts, and that's why you're gonna find, more affordable houses. And just look at the Desert Sun. Look at any of the newspaper articles. Type in North Palm Springs in Google, and you'll see, it has its challenges. Now, Desert Park Estates is more, on the east side of North Palm Springs, and it is a nice neighborhood, but you just have to remember, it is by some areas that aren't the best. It's not like prime Palm Springs, and it's going to be a little windier. That's another thing, because it's on the north side of Palm Springs. But let's take a look at this house here. Yeah, we're going to do a little flyby. You could see this is almost 1.2 million, and it's quite a bit older, guys. Look, you have this nice front yard, but look at the flooring. Got some Christmas tree. You got some Christmas photos here. It looks like some popcorn ceiling up there. We could pop some popcorn with that, watch a movie. It's just older. It hasn't, these are actually pretty kind of like windows. I wonder if that looks pretty original. But if we just scroll through, yeah, this is original. Look at that kitchen. That looks like something out of like Big Bear, Log Cabin. With the lights up above. I don't see can lights. So yeah, it looks like they've done a few things like newer oven and like dishwasher, but pretty original, guys. Let's keep going. I'm gonna just whiz through this real quick. Let's see like the master bathroom. That's always interesting. Yeah, look at that, guys. This is quite a bit older. Ooh, classic. Look at that tile work with the kind of like frosted glass, Yeah, and I see more popcorn ceilings. So I'm going to just keep going through this. Okay, this is probably the master right here with this double vanity action happening. Yeah, and we'll just scroll down to the backyard. Oh, well, you got a nice big pool, just no water in it, for 1.2 million. Can you believe that? That is crazy. But big backyard, you got a nice view of the mountains. So I think you guys get it. That's now what you get for 1.2 million in Palm Springs, or this is an average home. So if you were buying this, you could live in it as is, but I'm sure if you got 1.2 million in the bank, you're probably going to want to put 100, 200 grand into this house. Now let me show you what the average cost is for a detached home, a townhome. So if we go over to the Desert Housing Report, you can see right here, let's take a look, right? So Palm Springs, right, the average size of an attached home, which would be a condo townhome, you're sharing an adjoining wall, is 1,250 square feet, so almost half. Average price per square foot's $321. That's 200 less than detached homes. Excuse me, I think I had too much coffee. It's like coming up here. I'm like a frog. The average price of a condo slash townhome is $400,000. It was $300,000 last year. That's up 30%. In 2011, it was $129,000. So now for a condo townhome in Palm Springs, it's $400,000. Okay. And if you remember from looking at the detached prices in 2011-12, it was $500,000 for a detached home. Now the condo price is almost as much as the detached home price in 2011-12. Pretty crazy. I want to show you what you can get. What does the average condo townhome look like for $400,000? Let's take a look. So here we go. This one's $399,000. So right at the average. 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,200 square feet. Okay. Let's see, it's 2 bed, yeah, it's average. So view on a map, okay? So here you could see it's by Las Palmas, Sunrise Vista, Chino, in a pretty good area, not far from downtown Palm Springs, but still, this is going to be a little more affordable than if it was, down here a little more. So let's look at the gallery, right? So here we go. Here's the house. So I'll just scroll through right here. You can see it looks pretty original. Yeah, maybe newer flooring in like 2000s. Oh, popcorn ceiling. There we got it again. But nice backyard. You have a view of the mountains there. Stuff like the red walls, unless you like that. That could be painted. The kitchen, that looks pretty original. Yeah, look at those appliances, guys. That's original. Let's speed through this for sake of time. This looks like it's been updated a little. The bathrooms. Bathrooms and kitchens usually cost the most on remodels, FYI. But you probably already know that because you watch my channel. So we just scroll through here. Yeah, okay. That's it's just not my preference of tile, but that could be done with. Yeah, and let's see. There's the washer and dryer in the closet. And then you get a little courtyard space, which is nice, little backyard space. It comes with a community pool, so it's in an HOA and all that. So super interesting. So for $400,000, that's what you get. When in other parts of the U.S., like you could probably get a home for $400,000, like a detached home. But now this is what you get, and it's nice though. That wouldn't need too much money going into it, but the prices are just a lot more than they used to be. I think Palm Springs, yes, it's a lot higher than the rest of the United States, but it's an amazing place to be in and buy. I think it's an investment. If you buy here, plan to hold on to it for the next 10 years. I wouldn't necessarily come here and buy a home to just plan to make a quick buck because with the prices being where they're at, but it is a beautiful place, and I think that's why we have so many people, instead of just buying second, third homes here, they're actually relocating here to live here full time. So I see Palm Springs in the future having more of a full-time crowd than the vacation vibe. I think it's always going to be a vacation vibe, but we're going to have a lot of more full-time residents living here. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, please reach out to me. My contact information is below. I would love to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and say hi in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.